Okay. No, this is literally on Twitch. This is literally a Twitch problem. Someone over at Twitch keeps changing my stream key. 100%. I'm sorry. I don't know who the fuck you are. I hope someone fucking finds you, but I'm done. No, they keep switching my stream key out. It's literally a Twitch problem. It's 100% Twitch on Twitch's back end. Someone over at Twitch is changing my fucking stream key over and over again. And it's nothing I can do. It's like they're doing it on the back end. I don't know who the fuck it is. I don't know if it's like a rogue employee or something. It's not a router problem. My internet is fine. It is. Yes. Yes. It is. I looked. It is literally my stream key keeps suspiciously changing, dude. The fuck? The fuck are you guys doing? Jesus Christ, dude. Who do you need to fire on the fucking back end? What is this shit? Like, they literally, this is the second time that they've changed my fucking stream key in a matter of one stream, dude. Really? God damn it. Is it a Streamlabs problem? No, it's not a Streamlabs problem. No, it's not. I originally thought it was a Streamlabs problem. Dude, guys, I'm a streamer. I can see some of the things that are happening that are changing on the back end. And I see it. Like, my stream key changes midway through the stream. Okay? And when that does, the only way for them to fucking change it is literally if someone on the Twitch backend, someone who works for Twitch, either it's like a fucking rogue administrator or someone like that, is constantly fucking logging me out and changing my fucking stream key. It's not a DDoS. I know for a fact that if that was a direct denial of service or whatever the fuck it's called, then I wouldn't be able to use the internet. Some fucking dipshit like level 1 back end employees like fucking around probably. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm losing my fucking mind. Check the slasher tweet. Yeah, I know. I'm not showing any violence or gore of any kind on the platform. Shut up. Man, it's fucking annoying, dude. Holy shit. Oh. Guys, I don't need to hit up their support team. I'm like, no, I have an account manager. I'm talking to them right now. They're working on it. It'll be fine. I think. Well, you guys think that like no one is looking at literally the there's no way they can't see who's using credentials to do that? Yeah, I gotta run a fucking ad again, but fuck this. I'm not gonna run an ad. No, nobody has editor privileges. Okay, chat, stop trying to offer technical support. You literally don't know what is going on, and there's no way you can know more than me, or no way you can know more than fucking people who work at Twitch who I'm in contact with. Thank you. It's very kind of you to want to help me out, but you're not. You're not going to be helpful at all. There's no way. Okay? I love you all, and thank you for trying to help me out. But you are not going to be helpful in this circumstance. I promise you. Okay? Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Bro, Twitch, I don't know if you guys knew this, but did you know that Twitch didn't have two-factor authentication outside of a phone number until recently, which is the easiest way to compromise your account? They literally only recently started it. Like, you could literally only do two-factor authentication from your phone number, and that's part of the reason why Twitch streamers got SIM swiped quite frequently. And that's part of the reason why I didn't have two-factor authentication until just now. Now they have Authy, and they also have Google, which luckily creates a layer of protection. No, I'm not hacked. I mean, I've had these combos with the fucking hackers who tried to SIM swipe me before. Digital condom, if you will. Yeah. They're fucking up your views for everyone else on the site, Keck. What do you mean? I don't like. I've never used Authy. SIM swiping, not simp swiping. SIM swiping is when some fucking 17-year-old in Tampa engages in what is known as social hacking or social engineering. And what they end up doing is... Why are you saying banned? Oh, because he said simp swiping. Yeah. Some fucking 17-year-old sweatlord hacker in Tampa will call up his homie that works at AT&T to get some information about a particular Twitch streamer or someone like that. And then they will act like they're literally that person, using some of the personal information they have on the other human being by trying to get AT&T to, in an emergency situation, authorize them on the account, basically giving them another SIM card of that fucking phone number. And if you have two-factor authentication on your phone, on your SIM card, basically, they can hack into everything that you own that touches your phone number. One way to avoid that is by having a third-party authentication. Am I saying it wrong? Authentication? Is there no F in it? Oh, I don't know. Authentication? Authentication? Huh. Have I been saying it wrong my entire life? That's crazy. That's weird. Wait. Authentication. Wait, why have I been saying it like that? Am I wrong? It's authenticity, not authenticity. Wait. Shut up. Hold on. Is authentication a real word? Oh, it's a fucking ESL. Several other languages use the form fee with, even though the authentication is correct in English, authentication suggests itself. Authentification. It's because you're thinking of authentified. Authentication with certification. I feel like I've always said it like this, and no one has ever stopped me until today. Authentication sounds so fucking weird now. Yeah. What? Or why did you guys stop me? You broke me, dude. My life has been a fucking lie, dude. Authentication. Anne, do you say authentication or authentication? No, apparently it's authentication, and authentication is wrong. Or I don't know, actually, why am I trusting Americans? They don't even know how to speak their own fucking language. Don't listen to me. They probably are literally wrong. Even though Google did correct me. Authentication. Did you mean authentication? Authentication definition. You had 100 giftications, subtifications. Oh, god damn it. I'm so fucking bent right now, dude. I don't even give a shit currently. I'm so sad. My account got shut down twice today while I was streaming. Thank you, Comrade Rye, for the 100 gifted subs. I don't know, some fucking asshole keeps changing my stream key. I don't know why they, like... I don't know if it's like a rogue employee or some shit, but... really fucked. On the SIM swiping, it's actually called SIM swapping because a hacker is swapping your phone. Oh, it's not swiping. You're right. It is swapping. SIM swapping. Change your password. I already did, brother, but it's not my password that they fucking cracked, okay? And I do have two-factor. It's not that. It's literally on the back end, dude. If someone had access to my fucking account, why would they change my fucking stream key? There's like a million different things that they could do, dummy. Like, changing my fucking stream key is something that someone who does not have access to my account directly could be able to do if they're like an admin over at Twitch, like a staff or some shit. But if they had like actual fucking access to my Twitch account, like full access to my Twitch account, not just like changing my stream key on the back end, then they could literally do whatever the fuck they want. They could change my name from Hasanabi to whatever the fuck they want to change it to. Like,
there. Thank God you're safe with the team. Take us through it.
Well, it was kind of a frenzy, especially once the mob reached the Capitol. There was a huge crowd and people were really, really happy. Like, they were thrilled to see each other with like-minded people, but there was also a lot of anger. And so at one point we were filming on top of a staircase and there were these people in their 50s just climbing over it while another man was shouting, like, either climb up the stairs, as in go to the Capitol, or get out of the way. And while most people were really nice to us, but there was also a lot of anger, and if you became the focus of that anger, it was very dangerous. So at one point we had our backs turned and a man threw a glass bottle at our crew and it shattered at our heels.
When you were there and observing the movement toward the Capitol, do you believe that this was something organic?
she used to be at Vice, yes.
That it just became going
Remember
into the
the
Capitol,
incel
or do
video?
you think these people were there with a mind towards stopping this process?
I think it's mixed. There wasn't one big overarching group that was in charge of this, or in charge of the people who showed up. So I spoke to several groups who kind of organized on the internet to come here. Some of them were QAnon conspiracy theorists. Another were a group of sort of survivalists. That group, the person I spoke to in that group had kind of intimated that there might be some kind of storming. But for the most part, it was ad hoc. And again, like mob mentality. Once one person starts doing it, they all want to do it.
And what did they want to do in the Capitol?
Well, I talked to several people who went in there. It was strange. There were two things they described to us repeatedly. One is that people lined up for the bathroom. And the other is that people were smoking pot in one of the offices. It was just being able to say that they were there and that it was people's house and it belonged to them.
Did you notice a difference between this riot and other riots you've been in terms of police kind of disposition towards the rioters?
Oh, is she like a chud now? The way she's describing it makes it seem like they were just like a couple chillers and not freaks that literally had Ziploc on them to, you know, hog tie Nancy Pelosi and kidnap her and shit.
The tear gas has a big impact on them. Something I did see that I see in both, in every protest, is they would go up to the cops and say, "How could you do this? Why aren't you defending us? Like, why aren't you joining us?" And then another thing I noticed was when people got tear gassed, they were so shocked. Like, they were so shocked that the police would be against them. It's like they had expected the police to be on their side.
Yeah, now you may see that in different ones, but it seemed like they were right this time. I'm not blaming the Capitol Police or any law enforcement entity, but the video of blockades being opened so that they could get through, people being walked downstairs, you know, without the kind of traditional roughness or in cuffs that we're used to seeing, you know, selfies being taken with some of the law enforcement officers. I've never seen that in any riot that had any significant degree of people of color in it. Did you recognize that distinction today?
Well, I didn't see the gate opening myself. There were times when the police were letting people do more than I would have expected. So we went up to the door where people were charging the Capitol and going in, and the police were standing there, not letting them go further, but they weren't like pushing them out. It wasn't aggressive. But at some point, there were huge lines of cops, and they tear gassed people.
Right.
And a guy walked by with like a bloody
Why is she
head,
being so
saying,
weird?
"I can't believe this is what the government does to its citizens."
Well, when you break into the U.S. Capitol, you're kind of asking for it. But Ellie, thank you very much. Once again, you have captured the spirit of a situation, and we appreciate you for that. Thanks to you and your team.
Thank you.
And Ellie has been she does a great job when it comes to Trump supporters, which she's been doing things about, the alt-right and so on. So she has been out there in the trenches.
Kind of wild that all these dudes and ladies that are like my age, or like people that I know, are now in like legitimate, they're like becoming legitimate entities in journalism. You know what I mean? We got Donnie O'Sullivan, Jacob Soboroff at MSNBC. I mean, these people are like, some of them are a little bit older than me or around my age. Stop modding! I don't know her. Yeah, 4 people died, but 3 on accident, or well, all of them on accident. I think I'm fucking dying. Oh. This guy's a cop, right? Matthew Rosenberg, national security analyst.
Predicted this a few years ago. You would have said, well, you're crazy. There's bad and there's bad. But to see American citizens urged on by the President of the United States walk down Pennsylvania Avenue and get to the Capitol and just push past the police, go in there, break into the Speaker's office, rip things off her wall, steal things from her office and brag about it outside.
Wait,
some of them waving Confederate flags.
This motherfucker wrote The Punisher, dude? What? It's not the same person, right? There's no way that's a different person, right? Expulsion and espionage accusations. On November 5th, 2009, The Nation printed a story that accused Rosenberg of being a spy. The story claimed that Rosenberg worked for the CIA and the U.S. security contractor formerly known as Blackwater. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, he's a Quebecer. Oh my God. No, there's a different Matthew Rosenberg who wrote The Punisher and shit. Who's your team for Rust at 5 p.m. tomorrow? I haven't looked into anything yet. For fucking very obvious reasons. Fuck, dude. There's a bunch of things that I wanted to do today, and it's like now all fucking ruined. Wait, hold up. Hold on 1 second, guys. There's I know. It's related to the fucking Twitch stuff, okay? I'm talking to some people in regards to what happened to my Twitch account. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. Like it's not a little deal, you know? Where like I mean, guys, there's a reason why I have 6 minutes logged on right now when I've been live since 10 a.m. this morning. I'm on my 13th hour. Anyway, just throw on CNN. No, I'm gonna.
Who were arrested today. But listen, that's a whole nother story. And for law enforcement, we'll ask them that question. I want to ask you, though, did they feel like the police should be on their side? Do you think that that in some way may have hindered the police or kept them from acting stronger to protect the Capitol or to push these people back?
You know, I want to be careful not to speculate here because I didn't see all the interactions with the police. I think they were caught totally off guard, totally unprepared, you know, and probably should have been far better prepared. But I think that among this crowd, there's an expectation that, yes, the police are on their side, that the police are ordinary Americans like them, and they are fighting for the ordinary Americans, and that anybody who opposes them is a communist, deep state, pedophile, what have you. So that's definitely there. And, you know, there is an expectation that, yes, the police are going to be on their side.
Matthew Rosenberg of the New York Times. Matthew, thank you. We appreciate your reporting, as always. Chris, we're going to have more to come on this remarkable Thursday morning. I was going to say, can you believe it? But you can. We've already discussed that. The horror.
We're living it.
Horror,
and it's not over
Capitol.
because the people who did that today have no reason to feel that they did anything wrong. And that is the sign of the times.
We'll be right back.
Had the other 3 people die? We don't know yet. Complications potentially. Ad time? No, I'm not gonna run an ad. Literally tased themselves and died of a heart attack. They don't. One guy accidentally tased themselves allegedly. We don't know how long until the conspiracy theories about how those 3 deaths ramp up. Bro, that's a whole ass Benghazi, baby. Stephanie Grisham, Floater Chief of Staff, Ricky Niceta. I don't know what this account is. Okay, I don't know what the fucking account is. I don't know what's going on there. Wait, fuck, I can't. Oh my god. Did it quit again? No. These are like random accounts. I don't know what's going on. I can't like Viking dude took a pic with Giuliani. Yeah, Antifa dude. Damn, look at that. Ethan is like what is Miss Gossip Girl? Go back, they're objecting again? No, they're not.
Of this great republic.
This is earlier.
Our free and fair election process, and by extension,
Isn't this
the
earlier?
people's
This isn't live?
us as a nation, a process that we've shared with the world its moral force, a process that now sadly has been bastardized by those more interested in the maintenance of power than they are in the free and open voice of the American people. If I remember correctly, Democrats were calling for transparency in 2000 and 2004 when George W. Bush was elected, and again in 2016 when President Trump took office. Where are you now? I ask this: what do you have to lose by having a thorough investigation to determine the validity of these votes? Why not encourage an investigation to relieve the concerns of half the people in this country? If you are so convinced that Biden was elected legitimately, what do you have to fear? If there was no fraud, simply show us the proof, investigate it, validate it. This isn't about one candidate versus another. This is about upholding the principles that are indispensable to the existence of the democratic republic that we are so fortunate to call home. I have no doubt that there was widespread election fraud this past November, and I am not alone. I stand here today speaking for 75 million Americans whose voice was unconstitutionally silenced. To you, the silenced, I say this: I will continue to fight for you. You have been heard. For more than 240 years, tyranny has sought to extinguish the light of freedom. As Ronald Reagan said before, freedom is a fragile thing. It is never more than one generation away from extinction. The Constitution and the Bible on which it stands is stronger than the cheap, tyrannical tactics of those who seek to destroy it. And I yield back to the gentleman, Mr. Budd from North Carolina.
I thank my friend from Texas. You know, mob violence is not representative of our country or of this building. The American people, at least the ones that are still up watching right now, they have seen this body return to a peaceful debate. And that's the American way. So let's get back to that debate, and let's talk for a moment about Pennsylvania. For decades, absentee voting was reserved for members of the military and citizens who were medically or physically unable to get to the polls. But in 2019, Pennsylvania dramatically increased the amount of ballots that would be cast in the presidential election through expanded, no-excuse mail-in voting. On September 17th, Pennsylvania's Democrat-controlled Supreme Court violated the Constitution by extending the deadline to receive mail-in ballots. Article 2 states that legislatures, not the courts, determine the time, manner, and place of their state's elections. But Pennsylvania's High Court directed the state officials to assume that non-postmarked ballots were received on time, without any evidence that they were sent before Election Day. On October 23rd, while early voting was already underway, the state Supreme Court ruled that election officials did not have to authenticate signatures for mail-in ballots. To sum it up, Pennsylvania officials illegally did three critical things. One, they radically expanded vote by mail for virtually any reason. Two, they removed restrictions when a ballot could be sent in. And three, they removed signature verification on those very ballots. And just this week, the Pennsylvania Senate pleaded with members of this body to delay certification until the Supreme Court resolves these disputes. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania violated their own Constitution. They violated the U.S. Constitution. They opened the door for thousands of unverifiable ballots. Because they failed to guarantee the integrity of their votes, I cannot consent to accepting Pennsylvania's electoral votes.
Time has expired. Chair will receive a message.
Madam Speaker, a message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker,
Madam Secretary.
I have been directed by the Senate to inform the House that the Senate is ready to proceed in joint session with the House of Representatives.
Thank you.
It's pretty funny that like they have to work this hard to authenticate
To the challenge.
Gentlewoman is recognized for
Fuck.
5 minutes without objection.
They have to
Madam
work this
Speaker,
hard to
this is a sad day for America.
authenticate.
A day of shame. A day of ignominy. An
Did I say it
attack on
right?
this
I don't
Capitol,
even. I'm
an
second
attack
guessing.
on our
Tonight has been a
country.
disaster, dude.
Our words matter.
Disaster. I've gotten
Mobs,
clapped up twice.
Thugs, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists.
And now
attacked
English
our
as a
government
language that I
with the
thought I knew
aim
was
of
broken,
attacking our
fundamentally
free and fair
broken. My
election.
English is just wrong.
Make no mistake, these terrorists came armed with false flags, armed with hate, armed with weapons, and tragically armed with lies force-fed to them by those at the highest level of government, including some from the legislative and, yes, the executive branches. Incited by the one at the highest level of government, they attacked people, property, this Capitol, this cathedral of democracy. Words matter. In his last words to our nation and to all of us here, our dear colleague John Lewis wrote last July, "Democracy is not a state, it is an act, and each generation has an obligation to preserve its institutions." Democracy is a series of acts by you and by me, by citizens, one building upon the other and another. Not acts that we have heard and seen and suffered today, words and acts to incite violence, acts that tear at the very fabric of our democracy. Yet, Madam Speaker, I have hope. We too are armed. We are armed with the facts. We are armed with the truth. We are armed with the love of our country. We are armed with our sworn oaths, and we are armed with our precious Constitution. We have faced tyranny and insurrection before. We are here tonight to herald to America and to the world. We will defend our democracy, and we will endure. When I came into work this morning as I was preparing to come to the floor, I read Tom Friedman's op-ed, which began with the words from the Gospel of Mark. "For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world but lose his soul? For what shall it profit any man?" I urge my Republican colleagues to have the courage to uphold their oath, courage like that of Congresswoman Margaret Chase Smith, a lifelong Republican, and the first in her party to speak out against McCarthyism. Putting duty over fear, she said, and I quote, "I don't want to see the Republican Party ride to political victory on the four horsemen of calumny, fear, ignorance, bigotry, smear. Surely Republicans are not that desperate for victory," end quote. For today we have seen the cost of victory by such means. It shook the very walls of this building. Our colleagues know there is no truth to this challenge. For what shall it profit a man? Madam Speaker, it has been my solemn honor to participate this sad day. I pray for our country, and I yield back.
Thank you, gentlemen. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Florida seek recognition?
To support the objection of the electoral certification of the state of Pennsylvania.
Without objection, the gentlewoman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a new representative here, I did not envision my first speech on the House floor to be this here tonight, but rather a tribute to our first responders and frontline workers who have been a shining light in an otherwise tough year for us all. After the events tonight, I am especially grateful for our men and women who put service above self, confronting lawlessness and danger while protecting this very chamber, its members, and our constitutional republic. As a member of the People's House and the wife of a first responder, thank you to our law enforcement here today. But especially after tonight's unacceptable breach of the People's House, I am furthermore resolved in the fact that we, as representatives of the people, must take a stand for every American's right to a free and fair election as guaranteed by the Constitution. Article 1, Section 4, Clause 1 of the Constitution explicitly rests the time and manner of our elections in the hands of our state legislatures. However, state law in the 2020 election was modified or circumvented without approval of the state legislatures. These actions are in clear violation of the Constitution, specifically Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, which grants state legislatures the sole authority to establish how state presidential electors are appointed. These changes, along with other election irregularities throughout the 2020 election, require me, as a member of this body, to object to the certification of these electoral votes, just as my colleagues across the aisle have objected to every Republican presidential election over the last 20 years. Tonight, as we undertake the very serious responsibility of debating these states' electoral certifications, I want to urge my colleagues to listen earnestly and with an open mind, remembering that just 3 days ago, we swore an oath to the United States Constitution, not a political party. Our constituents are counting on us. Our country is counting on us. Our children are counting on us, and we cannot let them down. In December, 25 of my freshman colleagues and I sent you, Madam Speaker, a letter imploring you to investigate these election irregularities. And to date, we have not received a response. That brings us to today. My colleagues across the aisle have repeatedly invoked our founding father, Benjamin Franklin, who famously said, "We have a republic if we can keep it." I say, let's keep it, and it is with that sentiment in mind that I ask my colleagues to defend the power vested in this legislative branch by the U.S. Constitution and reject the certification of the electoral votes of the state in question. It is our responsibility to have courage in the face of adversity and bring integrity back to this process, and with that, I yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from the great state of Texas.
I thank the gentlelady, my friend from the great state of Florida. As Americans, we believe governments receive their just powers from the consent of the governed. That sacred transaction can only happen legitimately in a free and fair election. Election integrity is the very lifeblood of our unrivaled system of self-government. The law and the Constitution give Congress not only the authority, but I believe the responsibility to serve as the last check on the integrity of our presidential elections. We either believe, according to statute, that every elector was lawfully certified and regularly given, or we don't. States certainly have broad delegated powers to administer federal elections, but they still must operate within the bounds of the Constitution. Despite receiving numerous petitions, and to the detriment of the country, I might add, the Supreme Court failed to answer the most important question of the 2020 election. Can entities outside of the state legislatures make election law? The plain language of Article 2 of the Constitution answers the question unequivocally, no. The decisions made today in these chambers are of the utmost consequence, and the horrible precedent that will be established if we don't act will have lasting impact on our beloved republic. This proceeding is not just about the integrity of this election, Madam Speaker. It's about ensuring the integrity of all future elections. I take no pleasure or pride in making my objection today, nor do I wish for any state electors to be disqualified. However, based on the law, the Constitution, and my conscience, I cannot support certifying votes from any state that violated the Constitution. This decision is not about loyalty to a president, Madam Speaker. It's about my fidelity to the Constitution and the oath that I swore. I yield back.
Thank you. The gentlewoman's time has expired. Does the gentleman from Pennsylvania seek recognition?
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, I came here tonight prepared to talk about the place I represent and how well the Democratic and Republican county officials ran our election. I wanted to point out that in my home county of Allegheny County, in the place they were counting the votes, there were 31 video cameras, 31 in the same place, just showing people counting votes, every single one of them on paper with representatives from both campaigns watching.
I think Congress would be a lot cooler if they could just beat the shit out of one another. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just got up on horses and jousted or something. Like, seriously.
That set up the system under which we just ran the election, and that the reason the president lost,
at least it'd be fun to watch, you know,
as other Republicans in our state. He got fewer votes than all of them. I wanted to lay out all this evidence, Madam Speaker, because I thought it was a sign of respect for my colleagues, for all the Americans out there who don't know who to trust. I was raised on that. I was raised on that respect, which makes this a hard speech for me to give. Because to do this with any kind of honesty means admitting and declaring in this House that these objections don't deserve an ounce of respect. Not an ounce. A woman died out there tonight, and you're making these objections.
Stop saying leaked, Chad. Jesus Christ.
Let's be clear about what happened in this chamber today. Invaders came in for the first time since the War of 1812. They desecrated these halls and this chamber and practically every inch of ground where we work. And for the most part, they walked in here free. A lot of them walked out free. And there wasn't a person watching at home who didn't know why that was, because of the way that they look.
House will be in order.
My point, Madam Speaker, is this. Enough has been done here today already to try to strip this Congress of its dignity. And these objectors don't need to do any more. We know that that attack today, it didn't materialize out of nowhere. It was inspired by lies, the same lies that you're hearing in this room tonight. And the members who are repeating those lies should be ashamed of themselves. Their constituents should be ashamed of them. And we know what's going to happen as soon as I walk away, what's happened all night tonight, what will continue to happen. They will take these same symbols, these same concepts, they'll smuggle them into their arguments, they'll make the same arguments. And I want people at home, anyone who is still watching, to know these arguments are not for them, they're for you. None of the evidence we wanted to discuss here tonight will change their opinions or what they're about to say. But you need to know that's not the end. It's not as if there's nothing we can do because of that, and if there was, I don't think this nation would have made it to almost 250 years. The fact is, Madam Speaker, the fact is that at the end of the day, people...
Gentleman from Virginia.
What?
Gentleman will say this point of order.
Gentleman will say his point of order.
Yes, ma'am. Point of order. The gentleman said that there were lies on this floor here today, looking over this direction. I ask that those words be taken down. We may have a disagreement on matters, but
Mr. Mann, it's not timely.
This side of the aisle liars.
No, the gentleman's name was not timely. You didn't register an appropriate time. The gentleman will proceed.
Dude,
thank you, Madam
Congress members are the biggest
Speaker,
bitches on the planet.
That at the end of the day,
like the way they get so offended.
You say that about me every single day. So
the truth hurts.
Hold your tongue.
The truth hurts.
The gentleman
okay, it's
will
getting a little
proceed.
spicy. Throw hands, bitch. Throw hands, motherfucker.
It hurts. It hurts them. It hurts this country. It hurts all of us. But the fact is that the people have made this country work by not giving in. Go ahead, shout it out. Say
The gentleman is not in order. The gentleman will proceed. The gentleman will proceed.
One last thing to say, Madam Speaker, and I thank you for your patience. All people need to know, all they need to know tonight, Madam Speaker,
There'll be order in the House. There'll be order in the House. There'll be order in the House. The gentleman will clear the chamber.
Asses! Beat
The
their
gentleman will
asses!
clear the chamber.
Throw hands, motherfucker. Throw hands. Let's do it.
Gentleman will proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The truth hurts. But the fact is this. We want this government to work more than they want it to fail. And after everything that's happened today, we want that more than ever. Know that. Know that, the people watching at home. We want this government to work. We will make it work. They will not make it fail. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I yield back.
Thank you, John. Who's next? Who's, who?
That was Connor Lamb.
When is the appropriate time to
Pennsylvania
ask that the words be stricken and taken down?
Shut the fuck up, you Republican bitch, dude.
You are late.
Connor Lamb.
For what purposes, gentlemen?
That was
from
Connor
Louisiana
Lamb, Pennsylvania District 17. I mean, he's literally like a
you
baby.
seeking
So it's
recognition?
surprising that they're like,
Who seeks time to speak on the objection? Gentleman from Louisiana.
I rise, Madam Speaker, in support of the objection.
Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes without objection.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My. Let us take a deep breath, shall we?
what are you, a prospector in an old-timey Southern movie, dude? What is this?
The strength of our American republic is not only the peaceful transition of power.
I see that there's some. Jebediah told me that there was gold around these parts, but I did not recognize that the gold Jebediah told me was actually of the black variety. I'm talking coal. My. Would be a shame if we placed the railroad around these parts that would directly help out with the prospecting.
United States, governors, secretaries of state, or local election commissions acted in violation of the election clause of the U.S. Constitution, wherein state legislatures are granted the sole authority to determine how presidential electors are appointed. It's that simple. State executive officials usurp the constitutionally
My man said fuck it, by the way. He was like, my nose is protruding out of the mask, so it's time to substitute to the move I like to call a chin diaper. Very good.
If we suspect that an election was compromised in a sovereign state, then we have a role in the seating of those electors and the counting. America is not a confederacy of states. We're a union of states. We're a representative republic. Therefore, each sovereign state has a deep obligation to follow the writ of its own election law during a federal election.
Bro, this dude literally sounds like he lives in a time where, like, he's defending slavery. Okay, I'm sorry. I cannot take you seriously. If you literally sound like an old-timey spaghetti western villain, it sounds like you should never use the word Confederacy, first of all, because, like, immediately it sounds like you put the mask back on. Nobody needs to see your face. Okay? And secondly, when you use the word Confederacy with that accent, there's like, red flags. It's just like alarm ringing in my mind where it's like, oh no.
Of the American people. May I ask, may we seek the quiet whisper of God's own voice within us. And I ask my colleagues to consider supporting this objection. I yield the balance of my time to the gentleman from New Jersey.
Thank you, and thank you for
a state that I refuse to recognize, as there are no oil refineries.
This is a debate. It's a discussion. Everybody has a right.
My colleagues in the House earlier said that we should not go forward with my bill that dictated that the more oil refineries you had, the more votes you had in the Electoral College.
A different opinion.
Leviticus Cornwall. Yeah, exactly.
For God's sake, as people watch this or see it or hear it, they expect more from us than that. We can disagree at a certain level. There is nothing worse than moral pomposity. Today was an amazing and terrible day. But one thing that we do know,
Someone needs
ladies
to
and
tell me where
gentlemen,
that
is that our
motherfucker
law
is from.
enforcement
Where is that dude
protected
from?
lives,
Chat, one of you knows.
and preserved our
He
democracy.
represents one of you guys, right?
firsthand,
Not this guy, not the New
as I
Jersey guy,
always
but the other one.
Just as I do back home in South
Pomposity.
Jersey,
I can't.
brave
He's Louisiana,
men and
of
women
course.
put their lives on the line to defend all of us. May God bless the woman who lost her life today, and may God bless what is and will always be the greatest nation in the history of the world, the United States of America.
I mean, Louisiana
is
pretty.
Of our country's
It's
greatness
pretty
is
bad.
Our democratic system. Pardon me.
The rule of the House, you must use your mask.
At the core of our country's greatness is our democratic system of government. Without faith in the integrity of our elections,
I'm sorry, but if you literally can't have a mask on while you're on that stage, like, it's pretty obvious to me at that point that, like, you literally don't ever wear a mask. Okay? Like, if it's literally coming off your nose when you're talking, it's clear that you literally never wear a mask, and therefore you have no idea what fits on your face and how to control it. Okay? It's like a very clear indication that you're only putting that on for show when you're in the fucking floor. We're literally a year into the pandemic, dog. Like, figure out what fits on your fucking face, homie. That's a Democrat. Like, that's not... Right, I think that's a Democrat, isn't it? I don't even fucking know. Dude, there's too many politicians. They gotta...
I started this day disheartened that our
that's a
colleagues were going to drag us through this cynical political charade of
Dude, I don't even know.
objecting to duly certified electoral college votes. But I was ready and eager to defend Pennsylvania's elections and the will of Pennsylvania's
Jefferson
voters.
H. Van Drew
Never did I expect
is an American politician
to be
and
answering
a
calls from
dentist
family
serving as a
and
U.S.
friends
representative for New
concerned
Jersey's
for my
2nd
safety,
Congressional District.
or to have to barricade myself in an office. But most important of all, never did I expect to see our capital overrun by armed insurrectionists intent on disrupting our government at the urging of the president. What happened here today has made me heartsick for our country, but it only strengthens my resolve to uphold the rule of law and to protect the decision of Pennsylvania's voters. Earlier this week, we raised our hands and swore an oath to bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States. But today, those who are blocking the counting of
Fucking
electors
South
from
Jersey,
Pennsylvania
dude.
are showing that their allegiance lies not to the Constitution or to their constituents, and many would argue not even to the Republican Party, but to their own political fortunes and the outgoing president.
Fucking South Jersey.
Pennsylvania's voters,
Wannabe
not
Pennsylvania
members of
ass.
Congress, are tasked
Part of the
with
fucking
choosing
state. God
Pennsylvania's
damn it.
presidential electors, and particularly not congressmen from other states. The people have spoken, and Pennsylvania certified our electors. We must respect our oath here by rejecting this unfounded objection to Pennsylvania's electoral votes and not substitute Congress's judgment for that of the people of Pennsylvania.
Hudson
Legal
County, baby.
challenges to elections are serious matters.
South
and
Jersey
that's why
has
there
some
is a
dank
place
ass
to
fucking
consider
pizza in
those
Atlantic
challenges
City.
in
One of the best
before
buffalo chicken
impartial
slices I've
judges.
ever had in my
And
entire life. I have a lot of
Pennsylvania's
homies that live in
legal
South
process
Jersey,
has
like near Atlantic City, where the rich part is.
pseudo-legal
Not Atlantic City, where not the
arguments that are
rich
being
part is,
raised by
but
the
at Bergen
objectors here
County, I
today
think.
are not new.
Or was it Hudson County?
Over the past 2 months, the president and
I don't
his
know, the fucking
allies
rich
have
part of
filed
Atlantic
more
City,
than
like the near
20
Atlantic City,
lawsuits to
where all
challenge
like the fucking
Pennsylvania
doctors and
election.
shit live.
Those challenges have been rejected in federal courts, state courts, appellate courts.
No, not
and the
Bergen
United
County. Bergen
States
County's North
Supreme
Jersey.
Court.
You're right.
Challenges have been rejected by judges who are registered Democrats, Republicans, Independents, and who've been appointed
Atlantic
by
County,
Democratic
Cape
and
May
Republican
County.
presidents.
Maybe it's Cape May.
And why did they lose all those
No,
cases?
it's not Cherry Hill. I know
As
Cherry
Third
Hill
Circuit
too.
Judge
I have
Beavis,
friends
a
from Cherry
Trump
Hill that
appointee,
literally
wrote,
hunt.
Free, fair elections are the lifeblood of our democracy. Charges of unfairness are serious, but calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations.
South Jersey goes wild like that.
We have neither here. What the court said points to an important distinction about when and how.
I know people who hunt do them in Arkansas. I mean, it's
made.
unique for New Jersey.
It's easy to make wild claims of election fraud on cable television or Twitter, but those claims are not facts. And while there may be no immediate consequences for misleading the public with such statements, there is certainly a penalty for misleading the courts. A lawyer
on a single true progressive
fines,
talking,
jail, and
taking
loss
note
of
on the
his or her
Dems.
license for making frivolous or false claims. The lawyers for the Trump campaign never alleged widespread fraud or illegal voting had impacted Pennsylvania's elections, because those claims are false. When our colleagues indulge in this political theater and endorse fringe conspiracy theories, they may think there are no consequences because they know that this time the majorities of the House and Senate will overrule them. But as the entire world saw today, their baseless claims of election fraud do have consequences. They undermine faith and respect for our elections and our government. They chip away at the foundation of our constitutional republic, and they take a sledgehammer to the peaceful transfer of power. It is our job to respect the rule of law and reject this political
Please say Central
charade.
Jersey exists. Why would I lie? It literally doesn't exist. And I say this as someone who, like, you know, lived in Freehold. It just doesn't exist. It's not real.
Who have withstood
It literally does not
intense
exist.
pressure, and today
New Jersey
honor
politics can be reduced to whether you lie about your being from Pennsylvania, and that's if you're from South Jersey, or you lie about being from New York, and that is if you're from North Jersey. There is no such thing as Central Jersey. And the line, another way to distinguish whether someone is from South Jersey or North Jersey, is if they say Taylor ham or pork roll. And that's it. That's how you know if a motherfucker's from North Jersey or South Jersey. And you know if a motherfucker's from South Jersey or North Jersey by where they lie that they're actually from.
Duty to debate and vote on the certification of the Electoral College, violence interrupted the proceedings in an attempt to stop the democratic process. Those who committed these acts are domestic terrorists and should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And I thank the Capitol Police and all of the law enforcement organizations that pushed back against this mob. I can't help but be reminded of the bravery during the baseball shooting on myself and my Republican colleagues in June of 2017. I thank God every day for their presence. The American people deserve full transparency in the electoral process, with confidence that any irregularities and inconsistencies in that process will be fully investigated. As a former Texas Secretary of State, I know the electoral process well, and above all, I know what the courts, the executive branch, and elections officials can and cannot do without approval by the state legislature. During my tenure, I knew that my authority was confined to the powers the legislature provided me. If states fail to abide by the Constitution and follow their own laws, it calls into question whether the votes in Texas or any other state are fairly represented.
I say pork roll. I don't say Taylor
And now,
ham.
as
Sorry.
a duly elected member of Congress, the Constitution outlines my rights to speak and voice my constituents' concerns with my vote. It is pivotal that we have free and fair elections in our representative democracy, and more importantly, that we trust in the results of those elections. In no way is voicing an objection an attempt to overturn an election.
Doesn't matter. I'm a bacon
And when
guy
this
anyway.
process
Bacon,
is
egg, and
complete,
cheese.
and all objections have been heard,
I'm not a
I
pork roll, egg,
acknowledge
and cheese.
that we will have a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. Faith in our system must be restored, and Americans must be confident that their vote matters and only lawful votes will be counted.
Why is this dude taking his
This is a
mask
sad
off?
day in our nation's history, but a solemn reminder that our country will not falter and will not fail. In God we trust. I yield the remainder of my time to my colleague, Congressman Cawthorn.
Hello, everyone. As I said in my convention speech, I want a new generation of Americans to be radicals. To be radicals for freedom.
Why don't you radicalize some bitches, bro? Put the fucking mask back on.
Violence.
Dipshit.
I am bitterly disappointed by the protests that happened yesterday.
Put the mask on,
actions
little
of
boy.
a violent few were cowardly and pathetic, and I am not afraid to call it out. The Republican Party is a party of limited government. It is the big tent party. It's not the party of destruction. Madam Speaker, the oath I took just days ago demands that I speak out in defense, not of one president or
Bro, if literally a Sperry shoe was a person, dude, how is this dude like a real human being? I swear to God, dude.
Power solely to state legislatures to determine how elections are
Motherfucking
carried out.
looking like a boat shoe,
When
dude.
other officials who are not vested with constitutional authority usurp their role and grind the Constitution under their heel,
My man is
I must
exuding date rape energy, dude.
Our nation is a nation of resilience. In Valley Forge, George Washington prayed for a republic to be formed from the ashes of a monarchy. At Gettysburg, Americans gave their lives to defend a very simple idea, that the American democracy that had been earned with the blood of their forefathers would not perish due to internal divisions. Then on the islands of Iwo Jima and Okinawa, American servicemen gave their lives to defend this nation's freedom from fascism. And what unites each and every generation of Americans is the idea that those who submit themselves to the authority of government ought to have a voice in that same government. We are Americans here in this chamber and in this country. But what does it really mean to be an American? It means believing in the rule of law. It means speaking up in defense of our founding principles and in defense of the Constitution. Being an American means that you are proud of your country, but that you never beat your chest. And being an American means that sometimes you must stand alone while others sit. Now, obviously I can't stand, but trust me, if I could stand, I would stand in defense of our Constitution today. Amen. Thank you all.
Bro, oh no, this dude is literally always gonna do the like Toph style. You know how like Toph on Avatar: The Last Airbender used to make like blind jokes, which is like fun and great because she's a likable character. I assumed he's gonna constantly make his disability the punchline of like how he can't stand these hoes. Oh man, I can't stand these hoes in Congress. Like, is that what's gonna happen? I mean, it's yo, this is crazy.
Massachusetts courtroom and argued against the king's writs of assistance. But Pennsylvania is the cradle of democracy. It is where we hosted the signing of the Declaration of Independence and the American Constitution. And it was Pennsylvanians who immediately went to battle to defend this idea of democracy. They went right after Bunker Hill to the siege of Boston. American riflemen were instrumental at the transformational battles of Trenton and Saratoga.
He's already been doing it.
And it's Independence Hall where these documents got signed, the Declaration and the Constitution.
Yo.
And you heard my colleagues. You heard.
Okay, I think we pulled the trigger a little too early calling this dude a Nazi and stuff because he said like, oh, Fuhrer. But then he also followed it up by like, because he did say like, oh, I'm at Mein Fuhrer's like fucking, you know, summer home or whatever, the Eagle's Nest, like, you know, just chilling in Cedar Rapids, right? And everyone was like, he's a Nazi, right? Like everyone was like, he's a Nazi because like, why the fuck would some American dude go visit like Hitler's fucking summer home and be like, what a time to be alive at my Fuhrer's summer home. He didn't say my Fuhrer, but he said Fuhrer, right? And that's really suspicious. And I think we pulled the trigger a little bit. Like we pulled the trigger a little too early on that one, calling him a Nazi because like he did follow it up by literally saying, you know, that like he's great evil or something. I don't fucking know. I don't remember the exact details. But dude, he literally looks like a Nazi. Like, I can't get over it. Like, is he doing it on purpose? Like, what's going on? Why does he literally look like he just looks like an Aryan Youth poster, dude. Like, I can't get over it. I don't know if he's like doing it on purpose. He's kind of good looking too, like, no cap. Sorry, I'm gonna be honest with you, but like, this fit literally looks like he's just wheeling his way over to the fucking Third Reich.
Right now, headed to the White House. We're about to speak on behalf of Donald Trump. But remember, we're not doing this for Donald Trump. We're doing this for the Constitution. It's for the future of our republic. I hope you guys will all stand with us. Thank you. Right now, headed to the White House.
He got paralyzed in a car crash? Yeah, I know. He also tried to low-key make it seem like he literally was like, you know, paralyzed in like combat or something. His ads literally made it seem like you couldn't tell if he was like in battle and like got shot that way or something, when it turns out he was just like applying to become a Marine or something with no indication that he ever got into the program or anything. And then he was in a drunk driving incident. He said it was on his bucket list. Like, is that shit right next to visiting the Eiffel Tower on the list? Yeah, it's kind of weird. It is kind of weird. Wheeling over to the Third Reich. I mean, he is wheeling over to the Third Reich. He's heading to see Donald Trump. Motherfucker got 5 million views on that. I mean, dude, he's a good looking kid. He's in a wheelchair, like clean cut. May or may not have sig heiled. Like, literally all of those things are good for the Republicans, okay? Well spoken. He was excused for not wearing a mask because they don't want to be insensitive to disabled youth. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Yo, seriously? I'd be like, I don't give a fuck, dude. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize your disability was on your face, dude. Nope. Wear that fucking mask. That's crazy, dude. That's... Oh, shit. God damn it. I'm getting punished for making fun of a person with a disability, even though I'm not making fun of their disability, obviously. And I am an equal opportunity shitter. Like, I'm gonna shit on you. I'm not gonna shit on your disability, but I will shit on you regardless.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Every one of us swore an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies of foreign and domestic. I swore that oath in uniform, and in the first part of it is the same that we swear here in Congress. The last time we needed to defend our Constitution against a domestic enemy, we fought a civil war. And then at the conclusion of that civil war, we passed the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments that make clear that no state is so sovereign that they can deprive their citizens
if you know one thing is that
protection of the laws. When it comes to election, that means
I don't think anyone's above criticism. And it doesn't matter even if you have a disability.
Dilute the votes of their citizens and deprive
All right, we're going up, and it's also top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break.
It doesn't mean that a state can do that by law or by practice. So whether the law was changed and made it such that there is no way to provide equal protection, one person, one vote, or the practice was corrupted, it cannot stand. And frankly,
okay, first of all, homie's wearing a gator. Those were like literally 3 months into the pandemic, we found out that those are worse than a mask and worse than even not wearing a mask. Okay? That was like 3 months into the pandemic when we were like, hey, don't get gators. Like, those things don't fucking work. Okay? They literally are worse than just not wearing a mask at all. And secondly, I can't believe he's literally wearing his grievances on his face. Bro, you're a full-ass adult, dude. You're not in college anymore. What do you mean, go Army, beat Navy? Like, you're really going to wear a fucking beat Navy gator, dude? What the fuck? Absolutely zero people care about this grievance, okay? Zero people. The people literally playing on the Army team and the Navy team do not give a fuck about the fucking ongoing rivalry. God damn. No, the gator is what he's wearing. It's called a neck gator. Approximately 3 people care about this sports rivalry.
The 249,000.
They're all terrible. They all suck at fucking sports, dude. It's literally like no one with a fucking legitimate career in the NFL is joining the Army or the Army team or the Navy team. So those teams suck ass. They're absolute garbage. Anyway, here's the ad. Top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break coming to you right now, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe, folks. And you can do that for $5 or for free. Pat Tillman is the exception who literally quit his NFL job and joined the service after 9/11 and then was literally fucking killed by... I mean, he was killed in friendly fire under suspicious circumstances for having correspondences with Noam Chomsky and being a radical anti-imperialist immediately after deployment. So, anyway, here's the top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break. Oh, also, they lied about his death to his family and still to this day use Pat Tillman as like some fucking, a chud hero when in fact, it was quite the opposite. Also, he never played for the Army. Oh my God, why do I know so much about football? That's disgusting. Don't ever ask me questions about football again. That's information that I don't need to know and I don't need to repeat.
The integrity
Ew.
of future presidential elections is ensured.
Yikes.
It is imperative we take this opportunity. The future of our republic depends on it. Benjamin Franklin, in the summer of 1787, during the heated debate to create our sacred Constitution, said these famous words.
I'm surprised you know that.
I have lived long,
You're
sir,
surprised that I know about
and the longer
a
I
very
live, the more
famous
convincing
American
proofs I see of
icon
this truth,
who is
that
it
God
who
governs in the affairs of men.
deployed for the military and then
if a sparrow
started
cannot
fucking
fall to the ground without his
sending
notice,
letters to Noam
is it
Chomsky?
probable
No,
that
you
an
should not be
empire
surprised
can
that I know
rise
that.
without his aid. We have been assured, sir, in the sacred writings that except the Lord build it, they labor in vain that build it.
That has
Madam
nothing to do with
Speaker, I
sports. It
pray
has
that
everything to do with
we would
politics.
turn
That's why
to
I
the
know
God
about it.
Almighty that ordained our nation into being to help us in our time of need. I yield back.
Thank you. Is that he? What purpose does
You think
the
it would protest on the same magnitude as today? No.
Recognition?
Madam Speaker, I rise in opposition.
I don't think so.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Madam Speaker, as a student of foreign
Dude, I made a Twitch
policy,
account
if
and I
somebody
waited
described
10
to me
minutes
the
just to say I'm
actions
from
we
Central
saw, I
Jersey.
would
What the fuck?
assume
West near Philly,
we were
where
in
there
a
are more
failed
horses than
nation
people.
or a
Okay, it
banana
sucked.
republic.
What face?
Storming past police,
That ain't
some
New York
carrying the
or the
flag of
South.
Confederacy, a mob breached this house. But there is good news. The democracy held today. For the last few years, misinformation and fear has been fed into people for profit and power, and for too many years, leaders around the country said nothing and sometimes echoed those messages because of the belief that winning, no matter the cost, was worth everything. Today, we saw the result of ignoring these warning signs. People look to Washington to give hope. Instead, we simply amplify fears. People look to us for expertise on what we can't, on what can and can't be possible. Sometimes it's easier to say what makes people feel good instead of the hard facts. Today, some members of Congress argue that we can unilaterally pick the next president, that our glorious wisdom, armed with Twitter, we know better than the American people. Some have shown that if conspiracies are repeated enough,
Wait, did they
become
actually get into a
facts and
fist
they aren't
fight?
disputed. Even here in this chamber, after the events today, some speeches have been shockingly tone deaf. I've seen people applaud cheap political lines that are embarrassing. Power and cultural fights have divided us so much that they're the ultimate goal now, and sometimes the oath we swear to uphold feels like a prop. People have been lied to by too many for too long. So here's the truth. Joe Biden won this election. The effort will fail, and everybody knows it. For some out there, this isn't about making a statement for the betterment of our country. It's about avoiding the pain of leveling with the people and telling them.
Okay, I'm going to show you two things. So first, I'm going to show you, this is not as fun. First, I'm going to show you Representative Andy Harris. Okay? Guys, this is Representative Andy Harris. He's the congressman for Maryland 1st Congressional District since 2011. He is 63 years old. Okay, he's a Republican from Brooklyn. And I don't know, what is he, like a fucking dentist or some shit? Usually half these dudes are like dentists or optometrists or some shit. Now he is trying to get into a scuffle and fight Democratic Representative Colin Allred. Now, for those of you who don't know, this is Representative Colin Allred, who is an American politician, a lawyer, and a former football player. Colin Allred is also 37 years old. How do you think that would have ended for Representative Andy Harris, who is 63 years old? His dentist-looking ass, dude. What do you think happens in that circumstance? That would have been horrible for one party. I wish it happened.
As the legislature thereof may direct a number of electors. Meaning that it's the duty of the state legislatures to select their electors in the manner they stipulate. It's right here. The founders of our republic did not want to federalize elections, which is why they reserved the selection of electors to the state legislatures. Historically, when Congress intervened in the electoral process, it was in the Civil War, it was when states were sending multiple slates of electors. But that is not the case today. Of the 6 states actively being contested, 5 have Republican legislatures. 5 are controlled by one party. 5 have the authority to get together and to vote to change the elector that they sent to us. How many of the 6 did? Not one. Pennsylvania did not get together and vote as a body and send us a new slate of electors. They did not send us a bill or a resolution citing injustice at the state level. None of them. Are they cowards? Do they not know the Constitution? Have they not read it like you and I? Or are they merely passing the buck? Here's the reality. Look, I believe this was not a fraud-free election. I believe that there were problems in Pennsylvania and in Georgia. But the Constitution gives us the right to fix that at the state level, not throw out the Electoral College. We do not want to absolve the responsibility of the people in those states to hold their own lawmakers accountable. I, as a Washington State Congresswoman, don't know better than the people in Pennsylvania and Georgia. Folks, we can't vote to undermine the Electoral College today. We have to uphold it. With that, I yield. Thank you.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Florida seek recognition?
I rise in support of the objection, Madam Speaker.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As you've heard from both sides of the aisle over and over and over tonight, members of Congress take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution. Clearly, the Constitution says state legislatures make voting laws, period, end of subject. And clearly, in Pennsylvania and some other states, non-legislators change those voting laws. No matter who wins or who loses, those are violations of the Constitution, whether you, me, or anyone else likes it or not. As Congressman Davison pointed out, over a dozen FBI agents were immediately dispatched to fully investigate Bubba Wallace's garage door. But sadly, the FBI never responded to my request to investigate massive voting irregularity accusations, like the video footage from Georgia that we all wish we didn't see. Neither has the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of State, the Postal Inspector General, the Director of National Intelligence, the CIA, and last of all, the U.S. Department of Justice. The right to vote is not only a constitutional right, it's also a civil right, and we must protect it. Running a fair and transparent election is not something America should run away from. It is something we must live up to. Every eligible American has a right to have their vote counted and the right to feel confident that his or her vote was counted, not neutralized by an illegal vote. Otherwise, I fear our republic is doomed. That's why I implore you to support a full investigation. And I yield the balance of my time to the fine gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Kelly.
I thank the gentleman. This has been an interesting day, and I know we want to...
Bitch, it's 2 a.m. Shut up, dude. It's almost 3. Like, you don't get to yell at 3 a.m.
And all the rest of this, and we're very, very grateful to the Capitol Police and all those who came in to protect us. But the real debate right now about Pennsylvania is Pennsylvania's Act 77. Was it constitutional or was it unconstitutional? All the rest of the trimmings you can set aside and just decide, was it constitutional or unconstitutional? Act 77 changed Pennsylvania's voting law and Pennsylvania's Constitution. Now, Pennsylvania could change that law, but it's done through an amendment to the Constitution. It's not just done because somebody would like to see that done. We had a mail ballot that was available. It's an absentee ballot. We did not have a no-excuse ballot. What did Pennsylvania have to do to get to the point where they would have a no-excuse mail-in ballot? Number one, in 2 successive sessions of the Pennsylvania legislature, that had to be passed in that legislation, one session after the other. If it passed both times, then it had to be published in every one of the 67 counties of Pennsylvania twice. When that was finished, it then had to go before the Pennsylvania voters to decide whether they wanted the Constitution amended. Pennsylvania did the first one. They actually did take a vote, and it was overwhelming. But then they scrapped it, and they put it in an omnibus bill. That is an unconstitutional change. You cannot do it. It's that simple. So I love the idea about Washington crossing the Delaware. I love the idea about Washington and going through a terrible winter. I hate the idea of what we had to go through today. But if oaths don't matter, and we've all taken them, and if the Constitution doesn't matter, why do we even do it? Why go through this charade that somehow we are really close friends, except when it comes to the really important things? We have driven this country apart through the people's house. And we wonder what happens? The biggest loss on November 3rd.
Bro, you're literally a Republican. Like, shut the fuck up.
Lost in this voting system because we have allowed it to happen. It's unconstitutional.
My chatterino is fucking freaking out again.
For what purpose does the gentleman seek recognition?
Wait, does this mean I gotta download a new version of this?
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
80 years ago today, Franklin Roosevelt delivered his 3rd inaugural address. Every realist knows, he said, that the democratic way of life at this moment is being assailed in every part of the world, assailed either by arms or by the secret spreading of poisonous propaganda by those who would seek to destroy unity and promote discord in nations that are still at peace. Today, the principal threat to our democracy comes from a different but also poisonous propaganda of those who seek to destroy our unity and promote discord.
Bro, how do I have one version of Chatterino that's popping off, that's like literally live, that's beta, but when I try to open a second Chatterino screen, it for some reason goes into, look at this. Dude, technology is just, oh wait, it says 223 beta, but this one is updatable and that one's updatable too. It says the version online seems to be lower than the current beta. Either a version was reverted or you're running a newer build. Do you want to install it? Dude, I don't even fucking know what's going on anymore, dude. This shit
chose
sucks.
to lead us out of this calamity shall not take office. The coronavirus will claim more American lives than all of the casualties in World War II. To meet that moment will require unity, not discord, will require an abiding faith in our country, in our democracy, in our government's ability to function and provide for the needs of its citizens.
Fuck.
The members of this body cannot continue to challenge the merits of an election that was fairly conducted and overwhelmingly won by Joe Biden. It must stop. Look at the damage that was wrought in this House today, to this country today. Is that not enough? Roosevelt said this nation has placed its destiny in the hands and heads and hearts of millions of free men and women. Our strength, he concluded, is our unity of purpose. Let us unite once again in defense of the greatest hope of freedom-loving people around the world, this precious democracy. I yield to Jamie Raskin.
Madam Speaker, the baseless attack on Pennsylvania and its electors brought to mind for me the great Tom Paine, the champion of popular democracy who came over to America to fight with us in the revolution against the king. And he lived in Philadelphia, where he wrote Common Sense in the Age of Reason. And Paine said, in the monarchies, the king is the law. But in the democracies, the law will be king. When you think about it, the peaceful transfer of power is the central condition of maintaining democracy under the rule of law. That's why the famous election of 1801 was such a big deal.
Bro, I never realized, I mean, I guess I always suspected that they'd be fucking boring, but I never realized how fucking boring they would be. It's like all these dudes know is fucking eat hot chip, charge their phone, talk about fucking historical facts that are completely irrelevant to the conversation, be bisexual but in the closet, and lie, dude. Literally, that's all congresspersons know, dude. Wait, oh, you're so ignorant. You act like being a Republican makes you a bad person. You're not even trying to be neutral. It's kind of gross, to be honest. Try to be more open-minded instead of closed-minded. Is that bait? If that's bait, it's really good bait. Hold on. Let me see. Following since 4 hours ago. Oh no, it's not bait. It's real. Bro. Why in the ever loving fuck would I ever be open-minded to the Republicans when I'm not even open-minded to the Democratic Party? Are you insane? Are you fucking nuts, dude? I barely like 3.5 Democrats. You think I give a fuck about the psychos who literally go mask off on the other side of the aisle, dude? You're crazy. Be neutral. Why? You want me to lie to you like mainstream media? Oh my God. Here, let me do it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hank Parker, and today a group of anarchists who may or may not have been agitated by Antifa protesters decided to demonstrate peacefully inside of the halls of Congress. They said that this was the people's house. Both sides are at fault somehow, despite the fact that it was Republicans who were Trump supporters who kept saying they're doing these crimes because of Donald Trump and how much they love Donald Trump and how they wanted to, you know, kidnap Nancy Pelosi. Somehow Black Lives Matter was still at fault. Is that good? Ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing here is democracy in action. I'm Hank Parker, and what you are watching currently is the People's House, the House of Representatives, representing the people by totally not fabricating evidence or lying about the fact that the election was stolen from the Republicans. I see no color. I am colorblind, and I am also completely objective and neutral, which means that I will never tell you when a Republican is literally lying to you.
Members will record their vote by electronic device and are reminded to vote when their group is called and to leave the chamber after they have voted.
Oh wow, zoomed in face hee. I'll ignore what they actually say and just make funny faces. Nice one. All you're doing is proving them right. You just cherry pick what you want and actually react seriously to playoff things you can't just justify. No, I can justify shitting on Republicans. I think Republicans deserve infinitely worse things than me just saying mean words that make you feel kind of bad. Okay? The things that I wish upon the Republicans, I cannot say because I would be fired from my job. I would no longer have this job on twitch.tv/Hasanabi where I love doing what I do. So, no, I am not cherry picking anything. I'm being as honest as possible with you that I would rather not shield my personal opinion from you and openly tell you exactly how I fucking feel about the Republicans, who are literally a terror cell, okay? They are worse for the future of America than Al-Qaeda ever could have imagined. That's what I feel about the Republican Party. They are not just a terror cell on American democracy. They are the worst terrorist organization on the planet because they are the most successful terrorist organization on the planet. 1,000%. I think that a lot of Republican voters are delusional. Some of them are racist. A lot of them are stupid. It doesn't matter. I think a lot of Democrats also maintain some of those same qualities. Make no mistake. But no one is as fucking openly evil as an American politician, specifically in the Republican Party. A lot of evil motherfuckers are also in the Democratic Party as well. Do not get me wrong. But goddamn, dude, these people are fucking hogs. And if you watched the People's House with the broken windows and commotion and chaos and tear gas with staffers and Congress members running around because a bunch of fucking sick freaks flew from all around the country to go and storm Congress exclusively because they were upset that Donald Trump lost the election, and you still come into my fucking chat of all places on the internet and say, oh my God, I can't believe you're being so mean to the Republicans, as they literally lie. Matt Gaetz straight up fucking lied tonight on that floor in that chamber that we are looking at right now and said Antifa was partially responsible for the violence. And you still expect me to be kind to Republicans as they spit on my face and they spit on your face as well? How about you stop being fucking delusional and recognize that it is not raining, my friend. They are spitting on your face. But they are not terrorists. Calling them makes you seem immature. No, your juvenile understanding of the concept of terror actually makes you seem immature. In your childlike mind, you have the comprehension of a baby and you think terror cell just means bad guy with a big beard. Terror is an act of violence specifically created with a political purpose. You can consider state violence to be terror as well. The distinction, of course, is that terror is a political designation, oftentimes applied by the American government to whatever fucking non-government organization or a government organization if they declare them to be a foreign adversary at any given moment, so they can justify behaving in a way that is inhumane, cruel, and unusual in the punishments that they subject those people to. When you call someone a terrorist, you can literally torture them. And then you can say it's enhanced interrogation. That's all that it is. So yes, by that designation, if we are to look at whatever a fucking group of individuals who are literally committing an act of gross violence for a political purpose, I would say that the American government, just like the Iranian government, are sponsors of terror and oftentimes perpetrate the terror themselves. And on that metric, America is pound for pound the biggest terrorist on the fucking planet. Okay? You don't know Walling 200 subs? Thank you, Don't Be a Tease, for the 100 gifted subs. And thank you, Comrade Riot, for the 100 gifted subs. If Al-Qaeda decided to drone strike your cousin's wedding, you would lose your fucking shit on your soil, on U.S. soil. If they came to your fucking bumfuck Alabama town and kill your cousin with a drone strike, you'd be like, that's kind of fucking not cool. I would say that that's an act of terror. The only difference is when American governments do it, it's just that we're the gods of this server. So no one thinks that we are the terrorists, or rather, everyone else thinks that we are the terrorists. It's just that we don't care because we just roll over them. How many hours have you wasted getting baited by chat? I think that's a pretty solid rant to go off of for in a nice little welcome to 62,000 people who don't normally listen to my rants about how I believe that we are also, by that same metric of like what is a terrorist, we are also perpetrators of terror all around the world. And it's a good rant for a lot of people to hear. They need to hear my perspective on it. So I don't see that as a stun lock or as a waste of time. You just sound like you hate America? Yeah, guess what, baby? I came here, okay? When I was 18 years old, I left my family behind. I left my friends behind. I left the culture that I grew up in behind. And I came here on my own to go to college here. I wanted to come here. I would say that I love America a lot more than you do, especially because what did you do? You just crawled out of your mom's vagina and basically grew up in some fucking bumfuck Manalapan town in New Jersey, and that's it. That's all you've done. I at least fucking put in the work. Especially, and I would never even compare that to the endless amount of fucking work that every fucking average immigrant puts in too. I was fortunate enough. I'm from an affluent background. I also was born on U.S. soil so I could have an American citizenship. So my immigration process was not as difficult. So whenever you fucking turn around and tell someone who's like only been living here since they were 18 or a foreigner or an immigrant who's like fresh off the boat or anything like that, remember that like you didn't really do anything to be American. Those motherfuckers did, okay? So shut the fuck up. If we didn't love America, we wouldn't be busting ass to fucking, you know, make nice with a bunch of fucking dumb, idiotic, racist hogs all the time. Okay? You know how many people have to fucking sit through your dumb, neck-bearded, sweaty fucking rants every goddamn day? You entitled hog, you fucking piglet. Oh, it sounds like you hate America. Fuck you, bitch. I worked to fucking get here. You didn't do shit. Funniest part is that, like, you know, we're watching this completely nonsensical process, and like the outcome I could have told you was going to be the same regardless earlier today. Say hi back. I'm not going to stop until you respond. Okay, hi. the pizza is from like South End, which is in Margate, and Margate is rich as fuck, mostly PA summer homes rich. Yes, pizza is South End. Yes, you are right. That is ding, ding, ding. That is correct. The buffalo, the honey. Hank Piker, you at least love America enough to try and save it from becoming an absolute shithole. Yeah, not only do I love America, I love all the fucking dumb hogs in it, okay? Otherwise, why the fuck do I care about, like, getting health care to every person? Or, I don't know, making sure that workers have better protections. I don't give a fuck. I should just cash the fuck out, play video games for the rest of the time, hang out with my fucking streamer friends, and never talk about politics ever again. If I didn't give a shit, that's what I would do. Meanwhile, half the time I get death threats from dumb fucks who literally are like, you hate America, that's why I'm sending you this death threat right now. You're wrong, actually. Healthcare, we don't deserve it. I got diabetes, but it's fine if my daddy goes rogue trying to pay for my insulin. Fuck you. Fuck you, Muslim man. You hate America, send N-word. I don't know which Democrat voted yay. It's probably an accident or some shit. I don't fucking know. Maybe they were convinced by the incredible, brilliant arguments that Republicans conducted. The Republicans launched some remarkable arguments tonight. You know, some of the classics like they wouldn't allow poll watchers to stand 12 feet in front of the poll counters. They launched things like there was fraud. Oh, it was a misclick. I told you. No, they're watching the stream, bro. That I'm upset person. One of my favorites is, I am personally mad that people were able to vote by mail. Like, okay, sick. That's not a fucking legitimate reason to oppose what's happening, though. Like, I'm upset that people voted by mail and more democracy happened as a consequence of that. Okay, cool. But it doesn't work that way. Like, the 4-year prediction isn't turning out well. I fear that the next 4 years is just going to be basically Biden not even able to appoint a single judge because the obstructionist Senate will refuse to confirm as he centers his entire campaign or in his entire administration's goals around fixing our deficits. Wait, if you think that this prediction is wrong, just wait, motherfucker. Save this clip, Judge. No, I know this is before Georgia. It doesn't matter that. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that now that we had a 50-50 Senate with, Kamala Harris being the 51st vote. I didn't realize that all of a sudden Democrats were magically going to be like, all the blue dog Dems, I mean, I'm sure they'll roll over and allow us to do these progressive legislations. And that they won't be talking consistently about the deficit because Republicans guide the conversation. Just wait. Because the obstructionist Senate will refuse to confirm. As Joe Manchin last night was watching the fucking Georgia Senate race going, I'm fucking rock hard right now, dude. I'm going to be the most powerful member in Senate right now. Oh my God, dude. He centers his entire campaign or in his entire administration's goals around fixing our deficit and talking about how many concessions he's going to make. Oh, there's Hunter. How many concessions he's going to make to the Republicans. Who is that lady who's... Yeah, cinema is another one too. Fun fact, Kristen Cinema used to literally be like a America KKK type like commie basically. Before she became a centrist senator. Like she used to be like hardcore. Hardcore. Hasn't the Democratic Party started more wars in the Middle East and taken more innocent lives than the Republican Party? What? Bro, does he think George W. Bush is a Democrat or something? Bro, do you think... Okay, we're not going to make fun of you. But type slowly. Do you think George W. Bush is a Democrat? Just say yes or no. We won't make fun of you if you think he's a Democrat. That's... You can Google it first. Just easy yes or no, dude. I mean, Pappy too, but... I don't think he's gonna respond. The shitty coup attempt is really giving you energy for a 20-hour stream. Oh my god, it's 12 now. I started at 10 a.m. Jesus Christ, I should go to sleep. Reportedly, while Allred was in the general scrum, it was Al Lawson who got into it with Harris. Can't even stay up as late as Feinstein? Yeah, it's true. I wonder, did that guy ever respond? Kind of weird, like, why are they still doing it? I don't understand why they're like still doing this. Like this process at this point is again purely symbolic, and they were gonna. It made more sense to do it. By the way, remember the only reason why we're doing this is because of fucking I can't even remember names anymore. The one that looks like Tom Cotton but isn't Tom Cotton, Missouri one. The fucking dude, Hawley, yes, the guy that looks like he's from Team Fortress. That one. Wawa or Cumberland Farms? Wawa, dude. Yeah, Hawley. Good night, Hassan. Ex Gordo. Good night, Hassan. See you on Rust tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we got a huge Rush stream, dude. And I guess I gotta figure out a team or something. I don't know what's going on there. That's something else I had to figure out too. Join Team Rocket. Now that it's a RP server, I actually might. Like, I low-key might do that now that it's like... Now that there is not, like, you know, serious PvP occurring. That is a realistic possibility. Let me see what the deal is. Okay. Oh, there isn't like... Damn, this server is gonna be fucking tight, dude. This is exciting shit, dude. I mean, it's basically the same as the first batch from the first server. You should go get some seeds. I'm in it now. That's the difference. Oh, ew, dude. Yikes. Never mind. Oh, fucking ew.
As we come on the air, several major developments. President-elect Biden.
What is going on? Bro, what just happened? Dude, that was scary as fuck, dude. Why did that happen, dude? Is democracy stolen, brothers? Oh, damn. Editors are like, yo, was that Will who made this one? With the quickness, dude. Motherfucking Will Barker. With the fucking quickness. I'm live still. Wow, that's a first, dude. That's a first. Damn, that's like Hasanabi clip style. You know what I mean? Like that's like clip channel. Hello, buff chats. I was off for the holidays, but now I'm back. Do not worry, Russ is coming tomorrow. I'm going to put some extra effort to it. Also, if there is any comments or requests now that we're back, leave them down here and I will have a look at them. Hasanabi Gaming is back. When you hire the people working on those clip channels, why? They're doing their own thing. Why would I hire them? How would I hire them? Like the way you ask it is like, what? You want me to like literally cut into their profit? Because that would be me hiring them, is like me taking over their channels. Is that what you want me to do? Like, I have my own editors. You sound like Uber. Yeah, Uber is famous for purchasing a fleet of cars and literally saying like, go off, drive these cars and make your own money with those cars. That's what Uber, and then literally not taking any money from the drivers. That's actually how Uber works. If you didn't know. They pay me, motherfucker. They send me gift subs. Just talk about Louisiana. Did you know that this past election they voted for an amendment 1, which means abortions are not covered by states, even in instance of rape? I was in college when I found out they did that back home. I was disgusted with my state. Louisiana is one of the worst places, unfortunately. It's one of the richest states and also simultaneously one of the poorest states. Very resource rich, but also fucking horrific economic inequality. Why do you keep ignoring the fact that JMPA representatives are not verifying the signatures on the mail-in votes? Recounting the same false votes does not solve the underlying issue. How can you be so blindsided by the simple assessment? What? Bro, they did recounts. Like, what do you want? They did a hand-counted recount. I'm from Louisiana. Originally, I take zero offense to that. God damn it, Louisiana. Louisiana, unfortunately, like I said, beautiful. New Orleans is beautiful. Incredible food. Oh my God. But also, like, it's probably, stop deleting my replies. I'm not deleting your replies, dude. It's kind of sad. Like, you want to know what like environmental racism looks like? Literally, Louisiana, specifically New Orleans, is a great example of it. Like, Katrina happened under a previous administration, under the Bush administration, and its impacts still, you can literally still personally see the impact of Katrina, specifically in black communities in New Orleans, where there are literal fucking houses that have just been broken down with like markers outside of it to indicate that people live in there. It's like the third world. It's like a third world country. One block, you have like broken down buildings from hurricanes and shit with people living in it that marked it so that they don't like, so they don't demolish the houses, even though those houses are incredibly unsafe to live in. Still, for years and years and years, they've been living in it. And you walk a block down and you see some of the nicest, fanciest fucking old school Louisiana architecture. Are you going to continue streaming this whole process? It never recovered. I remember the crazy amount of refugees we got in our schools post-Katrina in Baton Rouge. And not only Katrina, but every fucking hurricane afterwards. Wait, why did I click on this? Oh, I was gonna look at like the live streams. Like a direct feed.
The Gremlin Street Gang is responsible for hundreds of violent crimes, murders, armed robberies, witness intimidation, burglaries, drug trafficking, extortion, and brutal beatings. We've arrested 10 of these thugs and have warrants on 7 more. Every one of these animals is most definitely armed and dangerous. Darren Carter, Aaron Carter, Travis Cooper, Cody Guidry, Jaron Diggs, Kirkland Demachet, and Jonathan Landry. We have felony warrants for your arrest. You will be hunted. You will be tracked. And if you raise your weapon to a man like me, we'll return fire with superior fire. Darren Carter, you think men like these are afraid of an uneducated, 125-pound punk like you that's never won a fair fight in your life and holds your gun sideways? Young.
Okay, dude, just literally just say the N-word, okay? Like, you don't need to spend, 57 seconds. Like, he wants to so hard. Like, he's literally just holding it in with the might of Allah, okay? I've never seen a man try this desperately to not say the N-word while trying to say every word around it. My God. Secondly, incredible editing. Notice how he's not wearing his combat gear in this scene, but then boom, all of a sudden, he is wearing it in this scene. As in, these guys behind him posed while he went back and put his fucking tactical garb on to come back and make sure that the integrity of this composure was preserved. This composition was preserved. Brilliant. Okay? This is literally the most Louisiana motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Like, the only thing that would make it more Louisiana is if you had what is it, like the twang, the Creole? Reminding me of one of my favorite King of the Hill episodes where they end up going to NOLA to fucking throw the football from that Alamo beer can. Or not Creole, Cajun? Is that how you say it? I don't know. And fucking Bill gets like all of his cousins to fuck him. It's awesome. Southern Belle Bobby is probably one of the best characters. Yeah. I mean, it's like one of his best arcs. Yeah, Bill has a fucking harem. Okay, I love this guy. This is my new favorite guy. I'm obsessed.
Son, we do dumbbell presses with weights bigger than you.
Yeah, says the guy who's literally never done a dumbbell press. It's fucking bullshit. Also, my man, literally, the funniest part about this transition is he goes, he's such an angry thumb, dude. Okay, one of my favorite parts is like, you never want a fair fight, boy. Meanwhile, he's literally standing with like K9 units. Okay, like the entire militia, the gang is all there. Everybody's got AR-15s, tactical, kitted up, night vision goggles, 6 consoles. While he's like, yeah, you shoot your gun sideways, boy. Oh, you never want a fair fight. Like, dude, he's like 150 pound teenager versus, you know, the way too overfunded fucking police force.
You think men like these are afraid of an uneducated 125-pound punk like you that's never won a fair fight in your life?
Yeah, that's like, you can't say that with a straight face, okay? I'm going to run the ad after I'm done with this analysis because this is really good.
Hold your gun sideways? Young man, I'll meet you on solid ground anytime, anywhere, light or heavy. Makes no difference to me. You won't walk away. Look at you. Men like us, son, we do dumbbell presses with weights bigger than you. And the convicts in jail, most of those men are good people who just found themselves crossed with the law. They're not evil, and they don't respect you or any punk like you. They'll toss you around like a rag doll. I encourage...
What is this camera shift? Bro, hit him with the wide shot, dude. Hey, look at all of our squad cars. Bro, why is this shot like a promo between, like, did Dana White get involved in this or something? Are they going to throw hands at the end of this, dude? Okay, whoever keeps saying Wes Anderson, that is an insult, okay? Wes Anderson would have a fucking aneurysm if this was a shot that someone proposed to him, because it's very clearly not centered. Have you ever watched a Wes Anderson movie? It has to literally be meticulously designed where everything is in balance. This is completely off balance. Look at the weight of the cars on the right side. He would lose his fucking mind. This is more Uwe Boll or whatever that guy used to butcher fucking video game movies.
I urge every citizen watching this to look into your own heart and find the American courage that conquers all evil. I implore you to listen to this message and stand up. Take back your streets. Take back your...
It's kind of funny, though, because, like, deep down inside, he's like, you know, a lot of those convicts are good people who found themselves in, like, good people that found themselves in, like, bad situations. Like, that was kind of cool. That was nice that he said that.
Your country. Come forward with information about these heathens that have terrorized your community. And for those who would use this message as a way
Wait, why is he asking him to snitch while also talking about, like, why the fuck would they do that, dude? Oh, I gotta sit down. I'm tired.
create false racial division in our country? Take a close look behind me. Standing next to every cop is a leader of our black community. This is not about race. It's about right versus wrong. One last message to the gremlins. You don't like the things I've told you tonight? I got one thing to say. I'm easy to find. On behalf of the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office.
Bro, he literally sounds like Dale, dude. I'm easy to find. You can go to my website where I've documented everything my neighbors are doing. You can find their lawn mowing patterns on there. I like to get a nightcap over at the bar down the street. We found as many black people as we could to put in the video interspersed amongst the police officers. Pocket sand, yeah.
The Louisiana State Police, the U.S. Marshals, and every cop and law-abiding citizen from sea to shining sea. I'm Captain Clay Higgins, asking every patriot to stand up, share this video, and send a clear message to the world. We're Americans. We'd rather die on our feet than live on our knees.
Bro, if like a black teenager who weighs $125 can put you on your knees, then like, I don't know, man. You're throwing a lot of different shapes out there. On the one hand, you're talking about like, you're talking about how devastating this person is, while simultaneously, like, you know, talking about your superior firepower. Stand Up America, contact law enforcement with information on violent crimes. The black people were in suits because they're community leaders. That's why he said it. Different shot of the formation look. Okay, is there more Captain Higgins out there? Louisiana deputy, famous Cajun John Wayne, famous for tough talk.
You can run, but you can't hide. We will find you, we will arrest you, and you will be held accountable for your actions.
Bro, this dude literally is like, I can see hypertension. Okay? When he's talking, I can see like the tension boiling up behind his eyes. Like, feels like me after a fucking long day of responding to gray name takes. I mean, he's literally like, my thumb theory stands true as it ever has. The more thumb like you are, the better your cop level is. This man is now leading the police union in all of Louisiana. After he packed on 30 extra pounds, they made him first the police chief and then the leader of the police union. The more thumb-like he is, the more uncontrollable his police powers become.
That's Sheriff Captain Clay Higgins from St. Landry Parish, Louisiana. His straight...
Oh, I can't wait for CBS this morning to put a nice little polish on this fucking turd, dude. I don't want to even watch it. Oh my God, he's such a straight shooter. Here we are with Louisiana's sheriff's captain, famous for being a gigantic racist. How many black teenagers have you killed, Sheriff? I don't know. Far too many to count.
In the number of arrests.
Hand on the gun.
Hand on the gun.
Hand in the front.
Making a point.
And then we advance toward the camera.
I'm a cowboy with something to say.
Louisiana Sheriff's Captain Clay Higgins is a straight shooter and
Okay, I gotta fucking play. I gotta play an ad. It's top of the hour, but it's 10 minutes in. You know what it is. If you'd like to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. If you already have Amazon Prime, you can use it by connecting it to your Twitch account. Here's the 1 minute ad now.
a straight talker.
Fellas, you're all an embarrassment to every criminal with a brain. You're no good. You've ruined your life. And if you return to this man's home to steal again, have your affairs in order.
In addition to patrolling the streets of St. Landry Parish, Higgins hosts a weekly Crime Stopper segment for a local news show.
The criminal shattered the front door glass with rocks.
This one targeted cigarette thieves.
If you're one of these idiots, pay attention, son. Try to focus and listen to your elder. What you fellers are is the Virginia Slim Gang, because you're certainly not Marlboro men.
These segments seen regularly.
Okay, I love this guy. I fucking love this guy, dude. I absolutely love this guy. Seriously.
By an audience.
Oh, dude, he's so fucking stupid. Oh, that's so good. All right, the fucking Senate is back. Or is the joint session back? Nope. House is voting. You guys are wrong. They're not reconvening.
Audience of 90,000 people have created a local folk hero.
If you're the man that committed this felony, look at me, son. I'm talking to you.
But it was when this video about a robbery in LeBeau, Louisiana hit YouTube back in July that Higgins became an internet star.
The sheriff likes Stelly's restaurant, and so do I.
More than 5 million people have seen this.
We're going to identify you, arrest you, and put you in a small cell. After that, I'm going to have a cheeseburger here with fries and a Coke and leave a nice tip for the waitress.
Captain Higgins' home base is in Opelousas, Louisiana, the heart of Cajun country. Famous for its music, cooking, and culture.
Washington Post calls you the Cajun John Wayne. Are you Cajun?
No, there's not a drop of Cajun in me.
Before Captain Higgins was chasing suspects, this New Orleans native was chasing money.
I was a very successful businessman, but I wasn't fulfilled in my spirit. I knew that there was another path for me.
That path, he says, led him.
Okay, this is really good.
This been with me for over a decade, and who is
This is a formality that's going on. I'm sure it's well-intentioned, but it is not relevant to the movement of the process. So let's bring in John Avlon, Ryan Lizza, and Sabrina Siddiqui. Thank you each and all, especially at this time. I'm sure that you have been with different measures of interest and frustration listening to me and D. Lemon. Sabrina, what it comes down to is
Chris.
what this, well, you know, he can be tough to listen to. The idea, Sabrina, of what
Except
this
means. Was at
means.
Auschwitz, Birkenau. The expansion of Auschwitz, where 4 more large gas chambers were built. They could murder 2,000 people at a time.
It really says something about the state of America when I see a new Republican character get unlocked. And my first thought is, oh, at least he admits the Holocaust happened. Like, I don't know if he's like, I don't know if he thinks it's good or bad yet, but like, that's one bonus. You know, you never know. You never know. Right? So I'm like, okay, not the worst thing. At least he admits it. Don't know what his thoughts are beyond it. Okay? New Republican character unlocked. Oh, for sure.
On these rails rode those poor souls. hauled in from all over Europe. They say as many as 20-25% of them died on the train. Because sometimes the trip was 7-8.
Okay, don't make fun of him. He's a Republican, okay? So that's immediately like he is a broken brain, which means that like he only knows how to film from inside of a car. So when he's not inside of a car, he doesn't know how to angle it. Like if he doesn't have a dashboard right in front of him, there isn't like a automatic adjustment. There's no framing. Okay, he doesn't know how to do it. Republicans literally only know how to film from inside of cars. So that's why the camera angle is very weird.
8-10 days. Had no food or water. Eventually, those that survived the trip ended up here on these rails.
Wait, are they gonna show? Like, I don't want to get fucking clapped by Twitch because like he's like going through the Auschwitz museum and they like straight up show like dead bodies or some shit. Would Twitch even get me banned for that? Obviously, it's not like a real dead body, but it's a dead body from like World War II or something. I don't know. Hold on.
Great sense of dread comes over you in this place.
Why is he doing this? Bro, who the fuck goes to Auschwitz? And like the first thing is like, man, I'm gonna make a movie out of this. Where is this gonna go? Oh, that fucking Windows movie editor flash cut. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Cyclone B. Actual cans used to kill 1.1 million innocent civilians here in Auschwitz. They said they would squeeze 700 people in here. The guards would drop Zyklon 5 cyanide gas from above through hatches. The cyanide pellets activated when they hit oxygen. After about 20 minutes, everyone was dead. And then slave labor would go into the room and drag the bodies of those poor souls out and bring them and incinerate them in these ovens. There were 3 sets of ovens like that. This is why Homeland Security must be squared away, why our military must be invincible. This is the suffocation cell.
Oh my God! Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Oh! Shit, dude! That's why he made this video! Oh! Oh, what? Dude, what? That is the craziest buildup I've ever seen, dude. How do we get... Wow. Okay. God damn. This is literally like... This is the greatest character unlock of the century. He spends the first 2 minutes and 34 seconds of the video like describing the horrific, gruesome details of how they killed prisoners in Auschwitz, in the concentration camps. Like, and then this is what he ties it into.
Would go into the room and drag the bodies of those poor souls out and bring them and incinerate them in these ovens. There were 3 sets of ovens like that. This is why Homeland Security must be squared away.
It's just hitting me in so many different directions. Like, I mean, this is like, is this art? It made me feel so many emotions. You know what I mean? Like I felt a profound sense of sadness. And then once the drop comes, it really hits you in the face with it. Like, he ties it into Homeland Security after, like, giving a detailed assessment.
Why our military must be invincible.
An American military power? What?
This is the suffocation cell, punishment cell for slave labor prisoners in Building 11 in Auschwitz. They would squeeze.
Wait, is it true you're not allowed to film in there? Like, or is it like a respect thing? Like, it's not like literally illegal or anything, but it's just like, I mean, it makes sense why you wouldn't be allowed to film in there.
As many as 40 at a time, men in here. Standing up. Just squeeze them in. It's a small room. Then they'd close the door.
I gotta say, bro, you're literally a Republican. Like, if we survive for long enough, depending on what happens, like, in 100 years, they're going to film videos like this in the concentration camps that we currently have right now. That you are justified. Like, we did this in Maricopa County. Trump literally pardoned the guy. Not the same as Auschwitz, but, you know, well, if you ask Joe Arpaio, he literally said, "This is my concentration camp, my tent camp. Don't you like it?" I mean, he likened it personally to Auschwitz, but you don't know he's Republican? He's literally a Republican congressperson from Louisiana. I'm pretty sure he's a Republican, dude. Don't make comparisons to the Holocaust, please. Yes, I know. You know, famously, people that say never again literally meant like, oh, no, it'll never happen again. So never make comparisons to the Holocaust so you can learn a lesson from it in order not to repeat those mistakes ever again. You know, that's why. That was the lesson that you were supposed to learn for the Holocaust, is that, oh, it'll literally never happen again. And if anyone ever compares anything to the Holocaust, no matter how fucking similar it might be, don't ever do it. Jesus Christ. Please talk to some older Jewish people. For fuck's sake, dude. All right, they're reconvening. Higgins' anti-abortion has compared women choosing to terminate their pregnancy to the Holocaust. Oh, no. Wait, that's the guy that had the wife dream? Oh my God, that's the wife dream guy. Oh my God, that's my wife had a premonition guy. I remember him. Oh, this is getting better and better. Dude, this character arc is so good. All right, let's finish this first.
A heavy, solid door. until they ran out of air and died, suffocated in that manner. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days. This is why we must remember these things. Man's inhumanity to man can be quite shocking. The world's a smaller place now than it was in World War II. The United States is more accessible to terror like this, horror like this. It's hard to walk away from gas chambers and ovens without a very sober feeling of commitment, unwavering commitment to make damn sure that the United States of America is protected from the evils of the world.
Oh my God, he took an Instagram photo of himself crying. Oh, dude, this dude is awesome, dude. Oh, fuck, I love this dude.
President.
If they do another round of these, I'm going to bed.
Of the House.
Is there going to be another objection? No, right?
Ordered that the House of Representatives rejects the objection to the electoral vote of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Pursuant to the law, Chapter 1 of Title 3, United States Code, because the two houses have not sustained the objection, the original certificate submitted by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania will be counted as provided therein. Tellers will now record and announce the vote of the state of Rhode Island for president and vice president in accordance with the action of the two houses. This certificate from Rhode Island,
if they reject Wisconsin, I'm ending the
advise
stream.
me, is the only certificate of vote from the state that purports to be a return from the state. It has annexed a certificate of authority from the state purporting to appoint and ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Rhode Island seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden Jr. of the state of Delaware received 4 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 4 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of Rhode Island that the teller has verified, as it appears to be regular and authentic? The certificate from South Carolina, the parliamentarians advised me, is the only certificate of vote from that state that purports to be a return from the state, and has annexed to it a certificate of authority of the state purporting to appoint and ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of South Carolina seems to be regular in form and authentic. And it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 9 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 9 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of South Carolina that the teller is verified, appears to be regular and authentic? Hearing none. This certificate from South Dakota, the parliamentarians advise, is the only certificate of vote from that state that purports to be a return from the state, and that is annexed to it a certificate of authority from the state purporting to appoint and ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of South Dakota seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 3 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 3 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of South Dakota that the teller's verified, appears to be regular in form and authentic? This certificate from Tennessee, the parliamentarians advise me, is the only certificate of vote from the state. It purports to be a return from the state, has annexed to it a certificate of authority of that state, purporting to appoint and ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Tennessee seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 11 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 11 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote for the state of Tennessee that the teller has verified as regular in form and authentic? This certificate from Texas, the parliamentarians advise me, is the only certificate of vote from the state. It purports to be a return from the state, has annexed a certificate of authority of that state, and purports to appoint ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Texas seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 38 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 38 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of Texas that the teller is verified and appears to be regular in form and authentic? Hearing none, this certificate from Utah, the parliamentarians advise me, is the only certificate of vote from that state that purports to be a return from the state, has annexed a certificate of authority from the state purporting to appoint or ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Utah seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 6 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 6 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of Utah that the teller is verified to be regular in form and authentic? Hearing none, this certificate from Vermont, the parliamentarians advise me, is the only certificate of vote from the state, purports to be a return from the state, has annexed a certificate of authority from that state, purports to appoint or ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Vermont seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware received 3 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 3 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of Vermont that the teller has verified as regular in form and authentic? This certificate from the Commonwealth of Virginia, the parliamentarians advise.
All right, this is a very big moment. Don Lemon, tell people what just happened.
Joe Biden officially is president, or will be when he is inaugurated on January 20th. It's all over but the shouting, basically, is what it's saying. All of the rigmarole that happened today, this is what it's culminated into.
But very important, because
Suck
this
my dick,
is what
Republican.
Donald Trump swore he would not let happen.
Yeah, we got
To
our
tell you,
fucking
he came
carcass,
close.
dude.
Yeah.
Today.
Fuck
He stalled
you.
this process, and if you say, oh, it wasn't him, yes, it was. This is a time for truth and a reconciliation of the same. This is a moment in our history that will be remembered for a long time. And Joe Biden has now been certified 270 electoral votes. He is your next president of these United States.
Yeah. Let's listen.
This certificate from Washington, the parliamentarians advise, is the only certificate of vote from that state, purports to be a return of the state, has a certificate of authority from the same state, purporting to appoint or ascertain electors.
President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Washington seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware received 12 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 12 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote of the state of Washington that the teller is verified and appears to be regular in form and authentic? Hearing none, this certificate from West Virginia, the parliamentarians advise, is the only certificate of vote from that state, purports to be a return from the state, has annexed a certificate of authority from the state purporting to appoint and ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of West Virginia seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida received 5 votes for president, and Michael R. Pence of the state of Indiana received 5 votes for vice president.
Are there any objections to counting the certificate of the vote for the state of West Virginia that the teller has verified appears to be regular in form and authentic? This certificate from Wisconsin, the parliamentarians advise, is the only certificate from that state, purports to be a return from the state, and has annexed to it a certificate of authority from the state purporting to appoint or ascertain electors.
Mr. President, the certificate of the electoral vote of the state of Wisconsin seems to be regular in form and authentic, and it appears therefrom that Joseph R. Biden, Jr. of the state of Delaware received 10 votes for president, and Kamala D. Harris of the state of California received 10 votes for vice president.
For what reason does the gentleman from Texas rise?
Mr. President, I object to the electoral votes of the state of Wisconsin because 71 House members, all of whom condemn violence as we witnessed today, are firmly committed to the resolution of disagreements in civil, lawful, peaceful institutions with full and fair debate, free of violence.
I mean, at this stage, it doesn't matter. Like, it literally doesn't matter. I hope they stay up all night. Fuck them. I'm not, though.
Court's failures to misrepresent that no court would
GG's, boys.
As
fucking GG's, boys.
While Democrat leaders in Milwaukee illegally and unconstitutionally created more than 200 illegal polling places, tens of thousands of votes were changed by workers despite election workers' objections.
That's
plus
it.
So many other illegalities.
Joe Biden has won.
Create a 20,000 vote lead.
The presidency.
We object along with a
What a fucking liar, dude.
For
what
like
a fucking Weasley
literally the 700th time in the past 2 months. It's got to be real weird.
Holy shit.
It's got to be extra weird that he lost. I mean, Donald Trump
Fucking, I'm saying it. America deserves
lost like literally
America deserves
more times than you could fucking ever imagine losing an election in the process of trying to, I guess, win the election in his own way. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, they don't have a senator. It doesn't matter. Even if they did have a senator, it wouldn't fucking matter. Oh, they're gonna reconvene? Who cares? Like, fuck it, 270, baby, it's over. They can stay up all night for all I fucking give a shit, for all I care. I'm not, though. Listen, folks, I love you all. This was a wild journey today. It was really a fucking wild journey. And I'm glad to have spent it with all of you. The madness. I hope I was able to at least parse through some of the madness. You know? Help you make sense of a oftentimes violent and senseless and cruel world. How many what?
I'm saying it. America deserves happiness. Fucking.
Just those 270 votes, it doesn't matter. Yeah. At this stage.
I'm saying it. America deserves
I think I broke my viewer record today, but I'm not entirely certain. I think we broke the viewer record that I had on election night, which was 227. I think I might have hit 228 or 230, if I'm not mistaken, today. Which is pretty crazy. Hopefully it was 229, 228. Okay, well, regardless, I hope it was enlightening for you. That's what I care about. I'm also about to hit 1 million fucking followers at this stage. That's kind of crazy. That literally happened completely randomly today. Like yesterday I hit, or 2 days ago I hit 800 or 900,000, and we're already at 950. So that's pretty pog. Sub count not updating. Yeah, the sub count is insane. I don't know how the fuck that happened as well. It's gonna go away. Anyway, I got the peak. Damn, 231,817. That's like 232. Nice. Listen, man, I did 14 hours yesterday, and I did 14 hours yesterday. Thank God I took that one day off, dude. I did 14 hours yesterday, and today I did 16 hours. Or did I do 16 hours? How many hours did I do today? I started at 10 a.m. and it's now 1 a.m. Or it's 10 a.m. and it's now 1 a.m. Yeah, it's almost 15 hours. Regardless. I've said this before after the election night, and I'll say it again. The only reason why I can do all of this, the only reason why I can put in these hours is literally because you guys make it easy for me. It is not a difficult process. Tomorrow we got the Rust server coming on, which is very exciting. Obviously, I'll probably start off with some more news. You know, do a compilation of all the things that happened today. Do a summarization, but then afterwards I will play Rust on the RP server. I still have to figure out what my character is going to look like. I think it's going to be Hank Pecker, and that's my like character. I haven't figured out what my weaknesses and what my strengths are yet, but I also haven't figured out like what my job is going to be. Starting to kind of get a little bit worried because XQC has all these like cool ass plans with a gladiator. You know, he wants to be like a dude who has his own, you know, arena and parkour and all this other stuff. And I need to figure out what I'm going to RP as, like what will be my business. I don't want it to be propane and propane accessories. I don't want to do political commentator. I feel like Ludwig's doing that already. Can I do that in real life? I don't want to RP as a political commentator. I don't want to RP as a fucking journalist or whatever when I'm like literally doing a form of that in real life. I could be a cop. I've thought about it. Definitely as a Republican. Like, I will be Hank Pecker. That's definitely going to happen. Hank Pecker. Libertarian cop. Possibly like Clay Higgins. New character unlocked. Yeah, I'm going to be a thumb for sure. Anyway. Love you all and have a good night.